What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 2. I've come to the conclusion that I think Daredevil Born Again is my spirit animal. It's very cathartic. um, and this was shooting when Season 1, because they did an original order for a certain amount of episodes. And by the way, Daredevil Born Again, I wasn't sure in my first recap. If you were here last week, thank you. I love you. If you weren't here, why not? Subscribe. So I know there's more than one episode and I'm going to do them separately. But I wasn't sure if they had renewed this for third. They have renewed it for third season. So it's coming back for third season. Hopefully with Luke Cage. I'm optimistic for Mike Coulter, that we'll get to see Mike Coulter return for Luke Cage. So maybe hint, hint, nudge, nudge. That would be nice. I don't know where this season ends, but I think most people enjoyed his performance as Luke Cage the same way we'd like to keep Kristen Ritter around. The thing was that some of those casting choices were excellent, and that's why we wanted to keep them. So the Netflix heroes. I don't see too many people clamoring about Iron Fist, but otherwise we seem to like Charlie Cox, John Bernthal, Kristen Ritter, and Mike Coulter. So we can make that happen, right? Anyway, but this episode does not feature the Punisher or Jessica Jones. I'm just gonna say that right off the bat. Spoiler, just gone. So if you had hopes, still no Punisher, no Jessica Jones. There's a mention of the Punisher though. So in this episode we have the remnants of Bullseye saving Daredevil, and Daredevil trying to reckon with that and what that means for him, and Cherry being taken away to the hospital, and then the guy that's head of Kingpin's goon squad, the manifestation of ice that's happening in Daredevil Born Again, is has plans to try to support and find, and even Kingpin is sort of impressed with the fact that this guy is very forward. And he's like, "You're not a politician, are you?" He's like, "No, I just believe in saying what needs to be said." So he's got security detail. He basically just says he's got some guys that are going to go, grab Cherry out of the hospital. Cherry has some friends that are there kind of protecting him and keeping the goon squad away, like some people who are loyal to him and not to Kingpin. And they are able to sneak Cherry out before the goon squad gets there. Matt ends up debating with Karen over this Bullseye thing. And he clearly has more thoughts on it than Karen, who's like, well, he killed Foggy, so he can't be trusted. And Matt's still trying to figure out, I think Matt is still trying to figure out why Bullseye, like, what is the angle here and how far is Bullseye willing to help him? Is this a enemy of my enemy is my friend type of situation where the two of them can temporarily team up? I think that's what they're leaning toward. And even though we don't get a ton of Bullseye this episode, there is a scene where he's watching Vanessa and Heather from afar. So we see the guy that's in charge of Goon Squad. I'm sure he has a character name. I don't care. There's another cop, I think that was from the first season, who's injured and wants to get back in. He's like, I gotta get back in. He's like, you gotta heal. And I'm like, oh, are they gonna give this guy powers or something? Is he gonna become some sort of special individual later on? Is that we're going that route with him? It was very obvious where we were going with White Tiger's daughter. That was so obvious. I was like, why is she back? And then you see where like her story goes, and she's walking with Solvad, and they go into this convenience store. I didn't even realize the audio description here just failed to recognize that there even was a presence of Goon Squad in there. And the so Soldad has there's some teenagers that are like stealing beer, and then somebody from ICE comes in here and just like beats everyone up. Like indiscriminately, like he attacks the owner who's trying to defend his store against these teenagers that are stealing things. And then he attacks the teenagers. And then Solda's trying to stop him from attacking teenagers. And then she like accidentally tears his outfit. Like, how shitty is his outfit, is his uniform? Anyway, so then he turns around and grabs Soldat and takes her and throws her in the back of an unmarked vehicle so she can go be, I don't know, beaten to death, whatever they do here. But yeah, it feels very icy to me. It feels very much like these people, and you can see that there's like a mob in the street that's chanting against them, that doesn't like these people. And it was like very cathartic. And I think about how our world has operated, but then these shows they shoot before. I think some shows just get really lucky, because they may not ever align with anything, but then sometimes they do. Sometimes you get something and you're just like, man, this is the right film for the right time, and it's coming out, and great, you know, like, but every once in a while you get a film that feels out of touch too, because it's being released and it's like nobody can relate to this right now. So and like the studio didn't pick up on the idea that the vibes and everything that the film is giving off don't fit with anything in the landscape. Maybe people just aren't ready for that kind of film. So with Daredevil Born Again, yeah, there's a lot of parallels here to what Kingpin is and what they're doing with his takeover of New York and controlling it, and these man on the street interviews that BB keeps doing. We have these deep fakes. Oh my god, these deep fakes, by the way, are amazing. These are great little fake videos. Some I Can we do more of those in real life? Uh I Please. So obviously, I mean, they have a production value for Daredevil Born Again, but somebody's been making some videos that Kingpin does not like. He's not happy about it. And Daredevil is aware that they're, about the boat. He knows that that they killed the captain. Somewhere out there is the first mate. He's got to find the first mate before everybody else does. They come and take Aisha. I think that might have been her name. The girl that Matt talked to for all of like 5 seconds in the first episode, who helps find people ways out of the city. Kingpin has an idea that sort of sparks his mind about sitting down and doing an interview where he looks like he's, Mr. Nice Guy, and he's really worried about Matt Murdock, the man who saved his life. And he's like, reports are that Matt may have survived, and he may be running around out there, and he doesn't know who he is. So if anybody sees, find Matt Murdock and bring him to safety. Bring my hero to me. So so people then are looking for Matt. And then of course he already has people looking for Daredevil, but now he has just like regular folk looking for Matt. So Matt just has to hide even more now. Yeah, Matt and Karen are sleeping together, and there's a raid nearby that gets Josie. I forgot who Josie was. I totally forgot who Josie was. It's like, look, Josie. Um, I'm gonna assume Cherry's something, but so Matt springs into action and has to beat up the goon squad members who are taking Josie, and Karen does end up like knocking somebody out, and the episode ends with her taking Matt to this room, and she's got one of them tied up, and she's like, "If they're hunting us, why don't we hunt them?" I was like, "Yeah, this Daredevil's not gonna go for this. Like, what is he gonna get from this random? He's after Kingpin. He's not after henchmen. Like, kidnapping henchmen is not his bag. Like, he has no reason. Like, what information is he gonna get from this guy? Doesn't know what he's doing. So I mean, I can get Karen's upset, but I didn't get a strong read that this was a good choice. So this episode was fun though, and you can see that the uh, White Tiger, White Tiger Jr. Is obviously going to happen because the daughter went in. I forgot her name. It's not important. She's going to be White Tiger in an episode or two. Anyway. She goes in and she talks to Kristen, who they're keeping alive in the show for reasons unknown, about Soldan being in jail, and and in the process, there's just this box on the desk with this magical mystical pendant on it and her dad's mask, and she's like, "Is that the box?" I'm like, "Why is that box there?" It's just sitting so that anyone can just walk in and be like, "Oh my god, the White Tiger pendant. Yes, please. I'd love to be the White Tiger. Thank you for imbuing me with the powers of the White Tiger." So yeah, I'm positive the daughter swiped that, and I'm positive we're gonna end up seeing her as White Tiger. I do not like the actress. I think she's miscast. I think every time I hear her speak, like there's something that she's doing with her performance that just does not work for me on any level whatsoever. But otherwise, I think it's a cool sort of original new idea, and I kind of wonder the same thing about the cop who was injured who wants to get back in the game. It's like, is he gonna end up doing something? Are we gonna end up creating new people? We have the swordsman is still out there, you know what I'm saying? Like that we have these sort of like obscure side characters that can end up becoming heroes or villains or vigilantes or whatever. You still have Bullseye hopping around on rooftops. So they're creating an atmosphere and lore in and around the season that's working for me. Plus, it feels oddly reminiscent and cathartic for life. So I'm liking Daredevil Born Again season 2 more than I did season 1. I thought season 1 kind of got messy. I picked up a little bit at the end when they were like, "Oh, by the way, here's the Punisher, and we're returning Karen to you, so you get Karen and the Punisher. Congratulations!" And it was like, well, this feels a little bit more like home. And then it also got more violent. Does anyone remember like Kingpin exploded some dude's head at the end? Like, there's nothing really in the first couple of episodes to suggest that that's the tone that we're going for. So it feels like somebody came in at the end and was like, no. So they started to curb it back around at the end, and now we're in a more violent place. And then when Kingpin was offering to walk his... So Blake is suspicious that maybe BB was making the videos and is trying to have this nice dinner with her, but also be like, could you not do that? We might die. But he also took his... Kingpin was also super creepy with his, like, chief of staff. So, and, like, I was like, is he gonna go off? Is it gonna turn out that it wasn't BB after all? That it was actually the chief of staff and Kingpin's gonna, like, throw her off a roof or something? He also punches... But it was kind of a dumb scene. I didn't like it. I skipped over it, just now remembering. His guy comes to talk to him, and his coach is like, "You just giving up like that? You just giving up? You're not a quitter. You're not a quitter." And like Kingpin's in the middle of a conversation. Kingpin just knocks the dude across the room, and he flies into a wall and breaks a glass mirror. And I'm like, I don't even know what that dude was doing. He was clearly having a conversation. He's the mayor. He's gigantic. Like, why would you do that? So, um, anyway, yeah, that's Daredevil Born Again, which I'm floating around like an 8 right now. Somewhere around an 8. Maybe the 8 point something. Somewhere on the +8 side than the like high 7s, low 8s. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys in episode 3 recap.